going to try to show you a technique which I think may help many players when you are starting the initial scrape of the reed. You can see this reed, I've already started a rough scrape. I usually let it sit around a couple days like this. After I make the blank, it's a good idea to let the blank dry for a few days if you can. Trying to make a reed in one sitting usually doesn't always work out. The reed wants to change. When you try to do it in one sitting, it will change dramatically. And then I'll scrape a rough scrape. I scrape down the middle. Sides are still thick. But what I want to do is get this reed to rattle. And a good rattle early on is a good indication that you will be able to make a decent reed. You will have all the necessary vibration in that rattle. I'm just going to scrape along the sides here because it's a bit heavier, you could tell. When doing this, I like to scrape the end of the reed first and work my way back. And not from the back of the tip, but from the front of the tip and work back. Let's even this out. This is a little off as well. I tie the reed at about 73. I'm just trying to thin the end of the tip. Gotta get a nice smooth tip going here. Now it's not overly thin, but you can see that we worked out some of the issues that were in there. There might still be some on this side, right in this corner here. Now it should make a noise. Let's see what it does. It almost has a rattle. Now, one of the things about when you're going for the rattle, the tip is frayed. When you have a frayed tip, that inhibits lots of vibration. And so you want to cut a clean tip when you're first starting out. And this will help with the vibration. It won't be inhibited. So now I just chopped it to get a clean tip. Now, we're getting some rattle, but it's a very high frequency. And that's fine, because we haven't scraped the rest of the reed. When you're going for a rattle in the reed, you remove all of the bark. Yeah, this is a Rigotti cane, and it's with my E-blade, which is really terrific. It's turning out some great reeds. This is the third generation blade batch, and it's working out well in the double. Let's see if we can. So now we have an outline, a rough scrape of how this is going to go. And let's see if that has helped the rattle at all. Oh, dog's got to go out. Let's see if we got a decent rattle. And that's a pretty good rattle. Now this is the point where you, to get that rattle, you may want to squeeze the reed a little bit. You may want to open it up a little bit, and this is the time that you do that. To get that rattle where you want it. It's got more highs than lows, but it's a decent rattle. It's got quite a bit of highs, but it should turn out a decent reed. Now when I'm blowing the reed, I'm going right down to the thread. It's not like crowing. Let's try another reed. Let's see what we can get. Just make sure that they're soaked. Let's see. So I have another rough scraped reed here. I'll scrape the end of it and then maybe clip it. David Weber would teach to get the reed to do a long siren, you know, when you're first making it. And that works well to establish the tip. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the entire reed to vibrate for you. And really this is how you do it with the rattle. Let's clip it. So we have a cleaner tip to work with. And we're going to remove all the bark. We've kind of established the tip. And we're going to remove the bark. And I think this will probably make a little different noise. Sometimes you have to, you know, take what you can get with these rattle and the cane, and each reed's going to be slightly different, right? They're not all the same. And the rattles will be slightly different too. Once in a while you'll get a really good one, and it will turn, you know, it turns out reeds. If you can get the reed to do this rattle, now of course weaker setups will rattle sooner, you'll have to remove less, whereas stronger setups will require you to remove slightly more. And let's see what we got. Remove the bark. It's not, the gouge is slightly thinner, or it's more closed. Let's see. That's a pretty good rattle. And when you have that rattle, it usually occurs, for me it's usually around 72.5, maybe 73, depending on how long you tied it. And I like to get the rattle and then trim the reed down to about 71, and hopefully after you've done all this it will crow at a C at 71. And for me that's ideal, because then there's more cane removed, there's more tip refinement, there's more refinement of the reed in general. Let's see if this is the same. That's a much looser, lighter rattle, and that's very good. Let's measure it quickly, and then we'll clip it down to about 71 for it to get to a C. Yeah, you can see it's about 72.5. It has a nice light rattle. The other one was a bit heavier. Now I'm going to clip it till it gets to about a C. And Right, it's about a C. Of course, the 512C tuning fork is bizarre because no scale has 512 in it. It's very strange. So what we have here now is at about 71, and we've got our crow. Now, of course, the reed is resistant, right? But we're going to let it set. We're going to let the reed settle for a day or two. Put it in your case. It doesn't look that pretty. It's not refined. But we've achieved what we needed to from the rattle. We've got our blank. And then I let it settle for a day or two. And then I get my initial scrape. The initial scrape is just the end of the reed. And then we have our rattle, stage rattle, right here. And now I'm letting the reed settle a day or two after each process. And then we have our C, reed that crows a C. And then from there, you can try to finish it, but you're going to need a day or two to finish it to get a finished reed. So try that. I think it's going to help people clear up some things. And remember that you're not going to get more out of the reed than what the rattle will give you. If it's a slightly higher pitched rattle, it's going to be a reed that may be lacking in lows. That's just the nature of the beast. We'll talk more about tone in future videos. So give it a shot. Good luck with that.